The vast majority of tightrope walkers die on the last 3 steps because the moment a performer thinks they've got it in the bag, they're already on their way out. The circus director warned Philippe that complacency was the greatest enemy of anyone who lived on the wire. Only by staying focused all the way to the very end could you call it a true victory. To toughen up Philippe's mental game, Rudy pushed him to perform over a lake in the park. The first half went smoothly enough, but when Philippe reached the middle, the noise from the crowd and the mocking laughter threw him completely off. On the tightrope, your mind and body have to stay in sync. The moment your focus slips, your balance goes with it. Philippe refused to accept that, and decided he needed to pull off something big to prove himself. He set his sights on walking a tightrope above Notre Dame de Paris. It was completely illegal, but Philippe had already made up his mind. He snuck into the cathedral in the dead of night. He tied a fishing line to a baseball and threw it to the other side, then used it to string a cable between the 2 structures. By the time everything was set up, dawn had already broken. When the first wave of tourists arrived at the cathedral entrance, Philippe began his performance. This time, nothing threw him off. Every step was steady and controlled. He even dropped to one knee on the wire. He pulled it off, then got hauled off to the police station with a huge smile on his face. Fresh off that high, Philippe wasted no time after his release and flew straight to New York. He made his way to the base of the Twin Towers. But when Philippe actually saw the towers soaring into the sky with his own eyes, he froze.
These towers, they're just scaled. They just rise and never stop. It's not human. It's over. It's finished.
But he'd already come all this way, so Philippe decided to head up to the roof and take a look. He stood on a steel beam at the edge of the building and stared down at the terrifying drop below. Then a gust of wind hit. Philippe instinctively shifted into his tightrope stance and regained his balance. In that moment, the hunger to achieve his dream overpowered every ounce of fear inside him.
It's impossible. But I'll do it.
The prep work officially kicked off. Philippe had Annie shake the wire with everything she had, so he could maintain balance even in extreme conditions like a raging storm. As for how to run the cable between the 2 towers, Jean-Louis pulled out a bow and arrow. He tied the line to the arrow. If all went well, it would fly straight across to the other tower. The performance had to happen before the building was completed, and the weather turned cold. So Philippe locked in August 6th, just 3 months away. Getting all the equipment into the building without raising any alarms was going to be as complicated as robbing a bank. Philippe had to disguise himself in different roles just to get inside. Every detail mattered. The delivery truck schedule. When the workers unloaded the cargo, nothing could go wrong. Of course, because nothing could ever be easy. Philippe stepped on a nail while scouting the rooftop. That was the last thing they needed on an already complicated operation. Annie urged him to quit. Philippe refused. Even injured, even with the risk cranked up, he was going to see this through. 3 months flew by. The night before the performance, they disguised themselves as movers and got into the building. But plans never survived contact with reality. Things kept going sideways throughout the whole process. Still, they bumbled their way through it and got all the equipment to the roof. 3 hours behind schedule. The crew on the other side started firing arrows. Guided by the fishing line, everyone worked together to set up the cable. Then suddenly someone lost their grip. The long, heavy cable plummeted fast. Philippe reacted instantly, spinning around and clamping down on the cable clamp. He held it. The protective padding on the railing was already smoking from the intense friction. After everything they'd been through, including one crew member bailing on the mid-mission, Philippe finally finished all the preparations as dawn broke. He hadn't slept a single minute all night. His body and mind were completely wrecked. But none of that mattered now. He was stepping out into the clouds, no turning back. What an absolute madman.